Welcome in and welcome back. We are getting late in the month, and I have done quite a few question-based videos, questionnaires, and Cosmo quizzes and things lately, so I figured it would be about time to switch things up. So we're here with 100 getting to know you questions, and I will link this in the description below. This comes to us from Janice Meredith on signupgenius.com. Working with a group of new people and need some conversation starters? Break the ice and get to know people better by selecting several of these get to know you questions. I'm assuming these are going to be terrible. But there are 100 of them, so we will be here with each other for a while. Let's get to know you. And any that you feel like answering, if you have a channel of your own, steal that link, do the video on your own, and let me know about it. Or you could copy-paste them into the comments section, and we'll all get to know each other. Number one, who is your hero? Iron Man or Wolverine? In my real life, though, my mother is one tough bitch. My mother gave birth 3 times standing up. Just a rough old bird. So I would have to go with that real nose to the grindstone. That's where I try to get some of that in my life. But yeah, probably my mother. Number 2, if you could live anywhere, where would it be? Anywhere at all. I don't know. That's a weird question. I always hate this question. Basically, it is asking you to admit that you don't like where you're at. I don't know. Number 3, what is your biggest fear? Penis snatching spiders. Number 4, what is your favorite family vacation? We never went on vacation. Never. When I say never, I mean never. We went to the movie theater once. And I mean once. It was to see Jurassic Park 2 or 3. I don't know which, but that was the only time we ever did anything like that. 5, what would you change about yourself if you could? Probably, these are terrible questions. Okay, so here's something I want to put in perspective here. This was a list comprised saying if you want to get to know people that you work with, ask them these questions. What kind of weirdo goes around asking coworkers, what would you change about yourself if you could? That's a weird lady thing to ask someone. I say a weird lady. Janice is probably a lady. What would I change about myself if I could? A lady never tells. Number 6, what makes you really angry? Stupid little stuff is the stuff that makes me blow my gasket. Just little stuff that should work but does not. I can't think of an example for you. Whatever the littlest thing is, that's what. Big stuff can happen and I'm fine. It doesn't really bother me. But weird little shit that goes wrong in your daily life, that's what makes me lose it, man. Just for absolutely no reason. 7, what motivates you to work hard? I am motivated to work hard. One of the things that motivates me the most is the possibility of something called an annus mirabilis, which sounds like something you'd find on Pornhub, but what it actually is a miracle year. 2 examples. Einstein in 1905 wrote 3 papers, one on Brownian motion, one on the E equals mc squared. Actually, it was 4 papers. Brownian motion, E equals mc squared, general relativity, and one other one that often goes overlooked. And then, while locking himself away to escape the plague, Sir Isaac Newton basically, what was it? I think that was when he wrote Principia Mathematica and discovered optics and something else, I think. Just a miracle year in which a person can have just an outburst of productivity. But also, I have very few aspirations of ever stopping working. So sometimes it motivates me to think of the people who might benefit from my work eventually. My younger sister, my niece, things like that. Those are things that really motivate me from time to time. When I'm having a hard time kicking myself in the pants, sometimes that'll do it. 8, what is your favorite thing about your career? Non-applicable. 9, what is your biggest complaint about your job? Working overnights drains you. It's murder. Number 10, what is your proudest accomplishment? That's a weird question. It is weird to me to the pride thing in that regard. I have often I try to think of pride as a future endeavor, not a past accomplishment. I don't think that anything that one might accomplish is necessarily worth taking pride in. I think that pride has to do, I am a proud individual, so I get up and I do work, versus I am a proud individual because of X, Y, and Z that I have accomplished. By taking pride in things, I think that what you do is you strip the process from which that endeavor had been accomplished. So you're holding that. I don't even have. So I have an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, and a master's degree. I have none of those actual papers. I never picked up any of my diplomas. I don't care really. I don't have any of that stuff. There's art on my walls. Only a couple of those are mine. I only did a couple of those. I have accrued them from people over years. Where were we? 11. What is your child's proudest accomplishment? Not applicable. So, piss off. 12. What is your favorite book to read? I am assuming that is not what is the favorite book you have read, but what book could you sit down with at any time and read? And I would say, I always have it at my feet. The Complete Poems of Emily Dickinson. 13. What makes you laugh the most? People getting trolled. People getting trolled makes me laugh so fast and so hard. People who get mad, when people get mad, even though it is or it should be incredibly obvious that the only reason that you're in said situation is because someone is trying to have a laugh at you. That is so funny to me. That is so funny to me. 14. What is the last movie you went to? What did you think? The Joker. It was okay. I was not as impressed as many were, nor was I as disgusted as many were. There is a review for that movie on this channel. 15. What did you want to be when you were small? Big. 16. What does your child want to be when she grows up? It's not going to happen. And not for nefarious reasons. 17, if you could choose to do anything for a day, what would it be? If you could choose to do anything for a day, what would it be? I don't know, crank out 3 novels? That would be pretty cool. 18, this is, I have a problem with authority. I chose to do this damn 100 question questionnaire. Even then, here I am arguing with sweet Janice and her questions. I'm a prick. Where were we? What is your favorite game or sport to watch and play? I like to watch football, and I don't remember the last time I played football. Used to play at the community college. One of the professors would host touch football on Saturdays. That's probably the last time I played football. But I like to watch football, and I like to watch MMA as well. MMA is to me as bullfighting was to Hemingway, I believe. 19. Would you rather ride a bike, ride a horse, or drive a car? I've never ridden a horse, and I don't enjoy the other two things, but what kind of schmuck wants to ride a bike everywhere? 20. What would you sing at karaoke night? Do I have to sing? Because I sit back with this pack of zigzags in this bag of this weed that gives me the shit needed to be the most meanest MC on this earth, and since birth I've been cursed with this curse to just blurt this berserk and bizarre shit that works and it sells and it helps in itself to relieve all this tension dispensing off this chest, and I rest again peacefully. But at least have the decency in you to leave me alone. You freaks me out when I'm eating or feeding my daughter and not come and speak to me. I don't know you, and no, I don't owe you a motherfucking thing. I don't remember where it goes after that. I was on a roll. I only messed up a couple times. Where's the karaoke question? 21. What two radio stations do you listen to in the car the most? 96.5 The Buzz, 98.9 The Rock. Neither one of them is particularly good. 22. Which would you rather do? Wash dishes, mow the lawn, clean the bathroom, or vacuum the house? I haven't mown a lawn in so long, living in apartments like I do. Yeah, I could do that again. Pick a lawnmower up and press the little primer button and yank the cord, walk around for an hour. 23. If you could hire someone to help you, would it be with cleaning, cooking, or doing yard work? Who really needs to do any cleaning? That doesn't have to happen. Cooking, because I eat too much garbage, and yard work, if I had a yard, I could do that. 24, I think. I say that despite the fact that I'm kind of lazy. 24. If you could eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be? Is this meal guaranteed not to kill me? Because if it's guaranteed not to kill me, corned beef hash and beef jerky and a boulevard wheat. That's healthy. 25. Who is your favorite author? Ernest Hemingway. You know, what's sad to me, and I shouldn't editorialize in this way, I bet there's a lot of people in the world who do not have an answer to that question, but they would have an answer when asked if they have a favorite TV show. That's sad to me. That is sad to me. I am condescending to anyone who does not have a favorite author. Figure it out. Find one. You'll be surprised what you learn about yourself along the way. 26. Have you ever had a nickname? What is it? I don't think like an official nickname. I think that anyone named Adrian gets called A-Train. It seems to be universal. But also I get the Superman thing a lot. Whenever I'm around someone who is particularly inclined to give nicknames. And it's always certain people. There's certain people who give nicknames. Have you ever noticed that? If you have not had a nickname, it's not because you're not worthy of a nickname. It's because you've never known a nickname giver, a nicknamer. Where are we at? 27. Do you like or dislike surprises? Why or why not? I dislike surprises because I am never really pleasantly surprised, so that whenever someone tries to surprise me in a pleasant manner, I feel like a jerk. 28. In the evening, would you rather play a game, visit a relative, watch a movie, or read? Read. For anyone who doesn't know, I have a second channel called Strip Cover Lit where I talk about books, poetry, and short stories, etc. 29. Would you rather vacation in Hawaii or Alaska, and why Hawaii? I don't like the cold. But Alaska fits my sentiments. A lot fewer people than in Hawaii. Seems to be a real industrious place. Hawaii is real hang loose, you know. I don't know. 30. Would you rather win the lottery or work at the perfect job, and why? Win the lottery because if you win the lottery, you can go to work on anything you want and you don't have to have a boss. 31. Would you want to be stranded? Who would you want to be stranded with on a desert island? On a deserted island. Here we are in the world of COVID, and I'm pretty much deserted as is, living alone in a small apartment, working overnights. I don't have to see people the livelong day, nor would I want to. So I will take that island to myself. 32, if money was no object, on a deserted island, I would probably want someone that tastes really good. 32, if money was no object, what would you do all day? Read and write. I would live in the world of letters. 33, if you could go back in time, what year would you travel to? So I've answered this several times on several of these questionnaires, and it would be ancient Egypt, so let's just keep it in the American timeline. I would like to visit the 20s. I think that would be interesting. Where are we going here? 34. How would your friends describe you? That's easy. I don't have any. 35. What are your hobbies? It's a weird question. I don't know that I believe in hobbies. I guess the YouTube thing, though I try to view YouTube perhaps as contradictory as this sounds, considering all of the Cosmo quizzes that I've done this month. I try to view YouTube in a productive manner. All the work that I do on Strip Cover Lit, I think, is, at least in some way, maybe to someone out there, productive, in that I might introduce them to an idea with literature which they had not considered. On this channel, I haven't quite found my footing. I think that my movie reviews are akin to my book reviews, and I do like looking at the themes of a movie and the character development, things like that, as opposed to 4-minute I liked it videos, which they have their place, but that's not what I want to do. So I'm not sure with this channel, but I don't know that I necessarily agree with a hobby and productivity in the same sentence. For example, some people have woodworking as a hobby, but it's a craft. You're productive. You're crafting something. So I think that's more of a craft than a hobby. I think knitting, things like that. If you are knitting things, you're being productive. Versus puzzles. Puzzles seem like a hobby. Video games seem like a hobby. I don't have anything like that. 36. What is the best gift you have been given? I don't know. Don't get me gifts. Anyone watching, don't get me gifts. If I wanted something, I'd have it. Don't get me gifts. I'm so bad with receiving gifts. 37, what is the worst gift you have ever received? I'm not going to do that. 38, aside from necessities, what one thing could you not go a day without? I don't think there's anything physical. I don't think that there's anything want-wise. Deep thought. There have been times in my life where I have been sort of trapped in areas, portions of life where I did not have deep thought, and that seems to be when I struggle the mightiest, when I seem to have lost all focus on things such as that. 39, list 2 pet peeves. Number 1, bubblegum. Adults who chew bubblegum. Don't. Why? Who are you? What are you doing with your life? Don't do that. Blowing bubbles, popping it between your teeth, that sort of stuff. They grow up. Number 2, being within 20 yards of people. 40, where do you see yourself in 5 years? In 5 years, that is less than, so 5 years, less than 2,000 days. You know, I'm a nihilist, and the nihilists concede. They don't recognize, they don't acknowledge, they concede. Where a lot of people are not willing to even see that there's only one question. There's only one question you have to ask yourself on any given day. There's only one real question that faces modern day humanity, and we have to answer it every day. Every day we have to answer that question. So 1800-ish days, 1900-ish days, That's a lot of days to have to say no. 41. How many pairs of shoes do you own? I just went through one pair of my boots. Worked out the sole split. I think I have 3, which is the most I've ever really had. I had 5 at one point, but I don't replace them. I got super weird about it for a little while, and I was just buying pair of shoes on pair of shoes on pair of shoes, and got up to 5 because I was finding them on clearance at Walmart. I bought a pair of Wolverine boots for like $7. Okay, yeah, hey, can't beat that. But those have 2 of them have evaporated, and I'm down to 3 pairs of shoes now. One is a pair of running shoes. One is a pair of slipper type shoes that I got for $2, and now that sole's coming off. So technically 2. I'll have to do something about that eventually. 42. If you were a superhero, what powers would you have? Like realistically? Like are we talking realistic superheroes? I don't know. I'd like to be able to fly, I guess. That'd be nice. 43. What would you do if you won the lottery? Get as much distance as I could afford. 44. What form of public transportation do you prefer? Airboat, train, bus, car, etc. I've only been on a plane once, and I think I was 4 years old. I've never been on a boat, never been on a train. The only buses I was ever on was to school, so I'm guessing a car. 45, what is your favorite zoo animal? Children. 46, if you could go back in time to change one thing, what would it be? Like personal or historical? Like, isn't the only answer to strangle baby Hitler? I don't know. 47. If you could share a meal with any 4 individuals, living or dead, who would they be? Emily Dickinson, Christopher Hitchens. 4 people, I get 4. Emily Dickinson, Christopher Hitchens, Ernest Hemingway, Andrew Jackson. That would be one hell of a dinner. That would be one hell of a dinner. 48, how many pillows do you sleep with? The one under my head. 49, what's the longest you've gone without sleep and why? I don't know, working overnights, you miss nights of sleep all the time, so at least 48 hours is probably it. Just, there are times where you're too tired to sleep, and it's a weird thing to say, but if you have been there, leave me a comment telling me that yes, you've been there, so I don't feel quite as crazy having said that out loud. 50, what is the tallest building you've been to the top in? I don't know, I live in Kansas City. 3 stories? 51, would you rather trade intelligence for looks or looks for intelligence? Well, luckily, I don't have to make that wager. 52, how often do you buy clothes? Nowhere near often enough. Most of my shirts have holes in them. I've got big girl thighs, so my pants wear out in the crotch. And I'll wear them for a couple weeks that way, because who's going to see anyhow? So nowhere near often enough. 53, have you ever had a secret admirer? I don't know. Why don't you tell me? 54, what is your favorite holiday? Can't stand them. 55, what is the most daring thing you've ever done? A lot of public loving. 56, what is the last thing you recorded on TV? I don't know that I've ever recorded anything on TV, which is sad because I am of the last generation who would have recorded things on TV, from whence comes these 100 questions. Well, I guess there are things now, is little boxes that you put on your television. It doesn't have to be a VCR that you record things on. When I was little, I think I used to record episodes of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But I was young, and those were like 4-hour cassettes, so you'd get 8 on there. Yeah, I used to do this, and my mother made fun of me for it later. So you could fit 8 episodes on there, but I was so little and stupid that I would forget what 8 episodes I had. So by the time I overlapped them, I would never realize that I was missing episodes. Also, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure cartoons did not ever used to be run concurrently, so you could never follow a through line in like X-Men or Ninja Turtles or any of that stuff, which is weird. Very weird. Or maybe I just was not the type of kid that would notice that sort of thing. Where are we? 57. What was the last book you read? I am constantly reading books. Go to Strip Cover Lit. 58. What's your favorite type of foreign food? Sushi, probably. I really love sushi. Yeah. 59. Are you a clean or messy person? Messy. Very messy, but not dirty. There's a difference. I have clothes and paper everywhere. 60. What would you want to play? Who would you want to play you in the movie of your life? Don't make movies about me. 61. How long does it take you to get ready in the morning? About as long as it takes me to shower and brush my teeth. 62. What kitchen appliance do you use every day? Appliance? The only appliance I have in my kitchen is a microwave that's not a real microwave. It's got a turn crank, right? I don't use, anything every day. The sink. 63. What is your favorite fast food chain? Favorite, probably Subway. I got in trouble with Subway when I was in grad school. Ate way too much of it. 64. What's your favorite family recipe? Recipe for what? Disaster? 65. Do you love or hate roller coasters? I don't ride roller coasters. They're stupid. So here's the way I think about them. Roller coasters. You're in line. You get to the front. There's 2 ways this story ends. Number 1, what? You get off the roller coaster. Number 2, what? You don't. Not worth the risk. 66. What's your favorite family tradition? Also, by the way, I knew someone whose friend had a very good friend who died bungee jumping. Now, I'm not making fun of that individual. That sucks. That's terrible. That's miserable. Do you want to be that guy that dies on a roller coaster? Because it happens, baby, all the time. All the time. I don't want that tombstone. I'm way too serious of a person for that. 66. What is your favorite family tradition? Really, we just give each other shit. We just make fun of each other, really. That's from where I get my love of trolling, I suppose. 67. What is your favorite childhood memory? 68. What is your favorite movie? Favorite movie? That's a weird one. I don't know that I actually have. Logan, maybe. If I took the money out of my wallet and actually bought Logan, I would probably watch it periodically. I don't have any movies that I watch periodically. Logan, I probably would. 69. How old were you when you learned Santa wasn't real? How did you find out? I don't know how I found out. I know that I was in grade school. I think that it was so the memory that I have that defines that I knew Santa Claus was hypothetically unreal is from the 4th grade. So sometime before then, for sure. 70. Is your glass half full or half empty? Oh, I drank half that son of a bitch. 71. What is the craziest thing you've done in the name of love? Craziest? Craziest? I don't know. I was in love in my early 20s with a woman who had moved to California and didn't tell me. And then I flew her back. Also, this same woman, I paid for a couple semesters of her community college. Maybe crazy and stupid are different things. Those are definitely the stupidest things, especially considering the fact how tight money was for me in my life at that time. So maybe the craziest thing I've ever done in the name of love was just loving her. 72, I don't believe in love, actually. It's a state of confusion. 72, what 3 items would you take with you on a deserted island? Number 1, a gun. Number 2, a box of bullets. And number 3, my book of Emily Dickinson poetry. 73, and the bullets are in case someone tries to come and rescue me. 73, what was your favorite subject in school? It's weird, it changed all the time. I don't think English was ever my favorite subject. There was one year where I really liked math. I really liked social studies a lot. I had philosophy one year, and that was my favorite. I worked my ass off throughout all of high school in order to take physics my senior year, because it was like almost an honors class, and I was not a math guy through most of high school. And it sucked. We had a first year teacher, and I was, a prick. It wasn't a good time. 74. What is the most unusual thing you've ever eaten? These are strange questions for coworkers. And they're difficult questions to answer off the cuff. The strangest thing I have ever eaten. I can't think of anything particularly daring which I have ever consumed. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. 75. Do you collect anything? Dust. 76. Is there anything you wished would come back into fashion? I don't care about fashion. Look at me, for Christ's sake. 77. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? Strange that I've spent 76 questions delineating the ways in which I am an introvert, but I am somehow inclined to answer as an extrovert because I'm putting this video on the internet. 78. Which of the 5 senses would you say is your strongest? Definitely not vision. I'm blind as a bat. I need new glasses. I have so I work in the back half of the store, but I'm always the one that answers the telephone at work, and people have no idea how I heard it. So I'm guessing it's hearing. I'm guessing I hear things on a supersonic level. That's my superpower. I'm Deflator Mouse. 79. Have you ever had a surprise party that was an actual surprise? I've never had a party. I don't believe in them. 80. Are you related or distantly related to anyone famous? Not at all. 81. What do you do to keep fit? Not enough. 82. Does your family have a quote-unquote motto, spoken or unspoken? No. 83. If you were ruler of your own country, what would be the first law you would introduce? Freedom of speech. I'm a freedom of speech absolutist. Freedom of speech. No one cares about your fifis. Your fifis have no place in Adrian land. Adrianburg. We'll work on the name. But your feelings have no place here. 84. Who was your favorite teacher in school and why? I don't know. I don't know. That's troubling that I don't have an answer for that. 85. What 3 things do you think of most each day? It's going to sound weird, but so I try to think of a poetic image, right? Sometimes different things, sometimes the same phrase or image or language is in my head for several days while I try to get it out, while I try to actually realize that poem. Number two, I think a lot about nihilism, the purpose of things, what is the use. It's probably not healthy. Number three, so I need to make a video on the importance of journaling, but I realized that one of the things that I do almost every day is I say to myself, God damn it, Adrian, when I find myself slacking in certain areas. So that's probably a pretty big one. If my thoughts were transcribed onto paper, God damn it, Adrian would occur on every page. 86, if you had a warning label, what would yours say? Does not play well with others. 87, what song would you say best sums you up? What song would I say best sums me up? Something from Chris Cornell, maybe. I don't know. Maybe something off of Bad Motorfinger. That's a pretty good one. I don't have one off the top of my head. 88, what celebrity would you like to meet at Starbucks for a cup of coffee? None. I need to make a video on celebrity culture as well. 89, who was your first crush? First crush. It's weird how questions like this, questions you haven't, of something you haven't thought of in forever. Her name was Rosalind in the 2nd grade. That's weird. It's weird how quickly that came back to me. We had boxes, mailboxes. You had your desk, and then you had a box on the wall. And you'd have to go and get your pad or whatever, and you'd come back, go and get your crowns or whatever, and come back. So whatever section of the day that you were working on, I asked her if she wanted to be my girlfriend, and she said no. So I asked her if she wanted to be my Valentine, and she said yes. I told her I didn't know what a Valentine was, and I blew my chance, I guess. That is weird. It's weird. That's weird how things like that come back to you. Number 90, what's the most interesting thing you can see out of your office or kitchen window? I don't have a kitchen window. I don't have an office window. I have a front room window because I live in a tiny studio apartment. I can see a McDonald's. 91, on a scale of 1 to 10, how funny would you say you are? I don't know, 3? 92. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? 10 years, that's 3,650 days. You know, my phone cut out on me because it's a son of a bitch. You know, nihilists say that every day you have one question, one real question to answer. And 3,650 is a lot of days to give the same answer. So in 10 years, I don't know that I can answer the same every day. It's a difficult question. Otherwise, you would have to ask yourself every day. Otherwise, it wouldn't be the only question still left. 93, what was your first job? First job, very, very first job? My uncle owned a landscaping company, and I would do landscaping sometimes in the summer. There was one summer in particular, I remember I had to move, must have been 100 bags of mulch and compost. And it was up this terrain to where, like, you couldn't use a wheelbarrow. You had to carry them on your shoulders. I was 16. I'd been lifting weights for a long time, so I thought, yeah, I can do this. I can do this. So I was taking 2, 3, sometimes 4 at a time. And I thought it was mulch, and some of it was manure. The weird thing is, manure doesn't smell like shit. I don't know if you ever worked with it, but it is. And you carry enough of it, and you're sweaty, and the bag is sweating into you because it's August in Missouri. There is a YouTube video, Ichiro's favorite quote, or Ichiro's favorite American quote. You should look it up because it's about Kansas City in August. But I carried all those bags, and at the end of that day, I smelled awful. I don't know what it was. It didn't smell like manure, and it didn't smell like my body odor. But somehow, the two of them mixed that by the time they dried, it took me a week to wash that off of me. 94, it was awful. I would get in my car and I could smell myself just sitting there, baking in the sun. 94, if you could join any past or current music group, which would you want to join? I think Chris Cornell and I would get along, but if I am trying to get out of my shell, Queen. Because either John Deacon, with whom I kind of identify, or Freddie Mercury. Those would be the people I would get along with. I think Freddie was a troll on a daily basis, and that would have been fun to see. 95, how many languages do you speak? I don't speak any well, but I only speak English sometimes. 96, what is your favorite family holiday tradition? 97, who is the most intelligent person you know? Who's the most intelligent person I know? I had a professor in college for whom I worked scraping and painting a house and doing some lawn stuff and stuff like that after I graduated, which really, scraping and painting a house is about what having a bachelor's in English literature can do for you. And he had answers to goddamn everything. It was astonishing to watch. The guy must have researched everything. 98. If you had to describe yourself as an animal, which one would it be? I don't know, maybe Wolverine. 99. What is the one thing you will never do again? Probably a 100-question questionnaire. 100. Who knows you best? Who knows me best? What a depressing question to have to end on. That's all I have for this video. I hope to see you back tomorrow for another video. Hope to see you over on Strip Cover Lit, where I talk about books, poetry, short stories, etc. And if you have any requests for things that you would like to see me do here on this channel, where I do more YouTuber-y things, go ahead and leave them in the comments section. Hitting that like button really helps me out here on the channel. And yeah, stick around, maybe.